And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill. www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app. They will bring it right to your front door. Pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or make it down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner, and get yourself some Galactic goodness. Chicken tendies, some chicken dunkers, get you some Galactic sauce. You can be like Kelsey, mix it with some ranch, and make your day. Make your family's day with some Galactic fried chicken. All right, Aaron. We had a wonderful BBP tonight. We talked, unfortunately, the end of the 2023 Nasty Natty as they lost a close one to Friday Beers. Just didn't shoot the ball well. Look,
there were a lot of sloppy passes too.
Well, I think actually after the game, they hit on the key was that they won those first three games by being outstanding defensively. And today, Friday Beers, at one point, I think they were shooting 60% from the floor and 50% from three, 60% from three. They didn't grind out this win like that team is prone to do. I do think there's some of it makes it difficult in terms of rhythm to add Keith Williams and Trey Scott in at the halfway point. If they would have been added in at the beginning, then maybe everybody's in a little bit better rhythm. I do think there is something to, they had a week off where Friday Beers had played, I think this was their fourth game in 6 days. The first quarter showed rest versus rust. Like Friday Beers was aggressive, and they had a bunch of grown-ass men. Then they made a bunch of shots, and Nasty Natty was down 17 quickly. And unfortunately, that was the end of the road. But what did we talk about multiple times? At some point in time, Jacob Evans and Jaron Cumberland weren't going to combine for 50 points every game in this tournament.
You just hoped it wasn't going to be both of them at the same time, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Jaron was still really good. Jake was off. Trey had 21. Like Trey Scott was outstanding.
Jaron got caught on some bullshit. Yeah. I mean, let's call it spade a spade. Like
2 of the 3 charges were
garbage
bad, and the other one was questionable.
But
that's
everyone knows his highlight reel. They know that he is prone to drop a shoulder and run through you. And while it's an aggressive move, I think it gets probably a little more credit than it should as far as being an illegal move.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Like, he is so good at it and so quick to doing it that he runs you over, but you're almost never set because it happens so fast. Right. But to an official, it's just a large linebacker size, defensive end size human running over somebody. Oh, that's got to be a charge.
He's not unfamiliar with it. He was called on it plenty of times.
And he laughed today
both times. Wearing a Bearcats uniform. He was called on it plenty of times. So it sucks. You know, we don't want to see that team lose, but they did make it farther than the team from Norwood, and they won that bracket. You know, no one expected.
They were the champions of the Xavier region.
No one expected them to beat the first team they played, the money team,
or the second team, or the third team.
So they made some waves, and we'll see what this team looks like potentially next year. As you got to think that they're adding at that point. I would think you're adding potentially a Gary Clark into the mix.
I don't know that. I don't know that this is Gary's. I don't know. Maybe just add Keith and Trey from the beginning, like you were supposed to. And I think we're having a different conversation tonight. The Keith looked great. Like I thought Keith looked really good, playing in the open court, getting downhill.
They mentioned on the broadcast Keith's the youngest player on this team.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for that. I think, as he may be the guy who's ushering in the next wave of former Bearcats. I also wonder if you will see guys playing on this team
Landers, Dave.
Well, I wonder if you're going to see guys who finished their careers as Bearcats, or if you might see them bringing in some guys who were Bearcat as it progresses. I mean, if
I think this thing sticks to pretty much a predominant. I think there will be an outside, like a new guy here and there, like we saw with Marquez Letcher Ellis. But I think this sticks to like a pretty strict alumni Cincinnati team.
I get that. I just wonder if we're going to see guys who were Bearcats that transferred out at any point.
Yeah, we did. Deshaun Mormon transferred out. He was back.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. But a good run. An excellent run. It was fun. Gave us, a week and a half of a little summer enjoyment that we didn't really anticipate. Yeah. Yeah. And they were good. Like, they looked good. They were fun to watch. It was fun basketball. It was Bearcat basketball. So that was a good time. Also, on the channel tonight, Scott Satterfield sat down with Bearcat Journal, a 30-minute interview previewing camp. I know you haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I have not.
By the time it uploaded, it was time to do the BBP.
Right.
There's a lot of good, a lot of interesting stuff in there. Some offensive line stuff that's interesting, some tight end stuff that's interesting. Some stuff on the defense that'll maybe raise an eyebrow in terms of philosophy and where he thinks they're at. Thanks to Scott for sitting down and continuing that tradition. That camp preview video has been something that's been a staple at Bearcat Journal. He didn't have to do that, so kudos to him. So go watch it and then like and subscribe and leave a review, all that good stuff.
All the things.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about tonight?
I want to talk about it last night.
But I don't think we were there last. We needed more stuff. And guess what we got today? We got more stuff. Right.
So realignment has been a fun thing to cover of late. I did see there's people reporting numbers. I don't know if you've seen.
I have not really been on Twitter much tonight.
I've seen. I think the highest I saw was 21 and some change per team.
Ooh.
And I saw that I believe was all streaming, all of it.
Yeah,
every bit of it. I think the lowest number I saw was 19 per team for the Pac-12. Yeah. Regardless, it sounds like George Klyakov is supposedly there's a Pac-12 all hands on deck board meeting of all of the teams, presidents and ADs and what have you. Who knows? But how did we get to this point to where we now have a deal on Tuesday, August 1st, after Colorado leaves just last week, and media days where we didn't want to focus on football, or we only wanted to focus on football. We didn't want to focus on the media deal that was at hand. But now we have Colorado leaving. You have other teams that there's one particular team, Arizona, has a Board of Regents meeting after this Pac-12 meeting tomorrow, where they're trying to figure out what their next move is. I can't blame them, because you have more question marks right now in the Pac-12 than you did a week ago. And how are you putting a deal together when you have more question marks? None of this makes sense.
I guess here's the thing, and our guy Jason Shearer from the Arizona 24/7 site, who has been. Did you see today what happened?
He's a gunslinger.
No, did you see today what happened?
And so you have to be more specific.
Shearer reported that he was the first to report that
no one ever credits him. He gets so pissed about it.
Stuart Mandel credited Canzano on something Shearer reported first,
which should surprise no one.
Why will they not credit Shearer? Because he has been right and they have been wrong at every step. Every step. Everything Shearer has said has been on point, and everything Mandel, Wilner, and Canzano and the rest of the Pac-12 media have tried. Like, They have tried to trash that man's career. Let's call it what it is.
He's done the same thing with them, in fairness, but he's reporting.
But he's been right.
Well, and I don't know that they're not reporting facts, I guess. So
no. They're reporting what they are being told by people that have been wrong.
I don't know that anybody's coming after anybody's career per se.
Oh, no, they are. I think they are.
But they think that they're also being told the right things, right?
But at some point in time, Aaron, you know what? I've been told something that the person is telling me believes is right that I have not reported because as I vetted that info, I found out it was wrong.
Well, that's the problem, though, is you have to vet your sources. And if you have sources that are giving you bad information, not once, not twice, but for like 9 months, 12 months, what are we at with this thing, right?
Yeah.
So how are you still trusting these sources? Just because they're inside doesn't mean they're good sources at this point.
No. What you have to decipher is who is telling you what they want to hear.
Well,
like most of these people probably know what they're telling you is not accurate.
I believe I'm on record, but I'll say it now. I believe that they're all, Dave likes to use the word shill. They're all mouthpieces for somebody who wants to get a certain message across, and they're just running with it. And they have plenty of followers who allow them to run with the message that somebody is trying to feed.
I guess that's the part that I struggle with is like, I'm not putting myself on the line to make you look good.
That's an odd thing that here at Bearcat Journal, where we have the word Bearcat in front of journal, I will say that we're not mouthpieces, but we also aren't shy about what our
allegiance is. Like where
it's not necessarily journalistic integrity, but it's not journalistic integrity as well, right?
You think there weren't people in the American or around like that wanted to use us as a platform for their message?
I'm sure.
Of course there were.
Far before I was even here, far before there was a YouTube channel, far before, you've dealt with this.
Like, all the way up to the end. Like, of course there were people that wanted that. But if your message was bullshit, my message was, I like you.
I'm gonna shoot it. We do try and shoot it straight.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that I don't see it going that way. So until I have more evidence that it's going that way, I'm not going to report that it's going that way. Like, this whole thing, it blows my mind. Like, so let's say, you know how these things work. We've been doing this long enough now. You've been kind of like had your head behind the curtain. If he had a TV deal ready to present to everybody in the Pac-12 tomorrow, and he let Colorado get away, that's
they tried
mind-blowingly bad leadership.
They already tried to cover that though with the trade up last week and all of that. I don't even go back. We already did that episode.
Yeah, that show. We did that episode. That we've already covered that fuck up from Klykov. Like, and if he did this deal after he found out Colorado left,
had to be.
Well, there's two options, right? He had everything, all his ducks in a row. They didn't announce it at Media Day. Colorado left, and now they're meeting about it tomorrow, what he already had in place. That seems wildly unlikely. Or he went to the people that they were in negotiations with after Colorado left and said, I have to have numbers. Because if I don't have numbers, everybody else is going to leave and we're going to collapse.
Should have done it months ago.
I don't have a $5 million job tomorrow.
Should have done it months ago.
But they couldn't do it months ago, Aaron. They didn't have it. I still don't think they have it. Think about that. Everything is going to be digital.
No,
nothing is going to be linear.
I think they had a deal in place ready to go. And the Big 12 snatched that deal.
No,
because
I don't buy that.
I believe, I truly believe that the Pac-12 had a deal in place, but they were holding out, thinking they were going to get closer, trying to bargain their way closer to Big Ten SEC money. They've been pretentious the whole time.
So here's what I don't agree with. I don't think they had a deal. I think they were working towards a deal, and the Big 12 jumped them in line. Where you're probably right is that they did probably say, like, well, that's not, whatever it was, that's not good enough for us. We're worth more than that. And the people that know the numbers said, no, you're not. Here's this number and that number. And we value this, but you overvalue that. And here's the numbers that you're worth. And they wanted to okay, well, then we'll go to Amazon. We'll go to Apple. We'll go to I think they tried to strong arm ESPN and Fox with streaming and well, we'll just we'll be the conference that
with strawmen.
Yeah, we'll be the conference that that changes the game. And ESPN Fox were like, all right, bet. Good luck.
I don't know.
Come back to us when we can get this deal on 25 cents on the dollar.
I am on pins and needles. I'm not kidding you.
I know you are. You love this shit.
I'm on pins and needles to see what happens tomorrow because the whole thing just feels like a terrible sitcom drama on one of the network channels that's going to end up you don't watch it when it airs because it's you don't want to watch the commercials, but you'll wait until it's on Netflix so you can watch it without the commercials, right?
Right.
That's where I'm at with Suits. I've been binging the shit out of Suits, and it's fine. It was on USA once upon a time, but
so I'm going to be at UC. I'll probably have to leave here at 10:30. Probably be there until 2, which is good because that's West Coast time. I'm
prime time.
I should be getting home about time that things get interesting.
It's going to be I imagine that I'm going to say it. I think that you will find that Arizona has requested to leave the Pac-12 tomorrow.
Maybe. I mean, well, I see. Here's the thing. Here's where I don't agree on that to an extent. I am of the belief that they don't want to kill the Pac-12.
No, but if you're offered 20.
But I think they will do it if Arizona State and maybe I think if there's a combination of teams going with them. If Arizona leaves this week, the Pac-12 is dead.
Yes.
It's dead. Because at that point, at 8, there's no way Oregon and Washington stay.
No.
So now they're at 6. And who gives a fuck about those 6? Utah, Arizona State, Cal, Stanford. Who cares?
Trade up.
Yeah, they're going to trade up. Trade deadlines tomorrow for baseball. This is going to be more interesting. We'll see you tomorrow. Who knows what the hell's going to happen by tomorrow? That's the Nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!